Some technologies are more than just tools. They're foundations of entire industries, economies, and ways of life. Think of electricity, the internet, or cars. Known as general-purpose technologies, or GPTs, these innovations reshape how we live and work by creating waves of advancement across society. Welcome to Social Theory Today, where we're exploring how these GPTs become the backbone of modern life, the social networks that validate them, and the cycles of innovation that follow. General-purpose technologies are innovations so fundamental that they trigger waves of further advancements across nearly every aspect of life. These technologies serve as platforms for entire industries and economies, creating what futurist Amy Webb calls technology supercycles. Supercycles are long periods of sustained innovation sparked by GPTs that shape how we live, work, and interact. Electricity, the internet, and AI aren't just isolated tools. They're the foundation of entire social systems. Take electricity. It didn't just light up homes, it revolutionized industrial manufacturing, transportation, and communication. The internet, too, reshaped society by connecting computers that could, in turn, connect economies, cultures, and communities. Through Social Accreditation Theory, we see how GPTs spread through vast social networks, with each actor, whether a business, government, or consumer, validating and expanding the technology's role within society. The transformative power of GPTs comes from how actors within society, governments, businesses, and consumers interact with the technology, creating feedback loops that drive its spread and adaptation. With electricity, the collaboration between businesses, consumers, and regulatory bodies allowed it to reshape entire industries. Governments established regulations and new infrastructure, while companies powered their factories and innovated new products, allowing consumers to adapt to a new way of living. This network of actors continuously accredited electricity, establishing it as a fundamental part of society and paving the way for the supercycle of innovation that followed. Through this supercycle, GPTs create self-sustaining feedback loops. With each new innovation, the groundwork is laid for the next breakthrough. This evolution flows like waves building momentum, pushing innovation across industries and borders, creating cycles of social and economic change that take on a life of their own. Take the 19th century railroad boom, for instance. Railroads made travel faster, but they also created an urgent need for synchronized time zones, because before that, towns had their own localized times. But with trains creating new flows across long distances, having towns on different clocks was, quite literally, a train wreck waiting to happen. The use of railroads gave us standardized time. Suddenly we had a new shared framework for punctuality, for the organization of entire workdays and supply chains, even for the increased tempo of daily life itself. And this innovation didn't stop there. The actors driving this change were incredibly diverse. Government regulators laid down infrastructure guidelines, private companies financed tracks and stations, labor unions emerged to fight for workers' rights, and consumers kept the trains moving with demand for quicker, more reliable transportation. Each of these players contributed to the railroad's success, driving its expansion across the country and reshaping industries from agriculture to mining. Railroads became a backbone, redefining how we moved goods, people, and even ideas. Then came the personal motor vehicle. Automobiles were a complete game-changer, a new wave in the transportation supercycle. Cars began as just luxuries, curiosities for the rich. But when Henry Ford introduced the Model T and the assembly line, everything changed. Ford made the car affordable and accessible, thereby further shifting our social values from enjoying collective, synchronized travel to prioritizing the freedom of individual mobility. Suddenly, the car was a symbol of independence, a milestone in the story of one's life journey. And as cars became cheaper and more available, the whole network supporting railroads began to shift. Labor, capital, resources, everything started flowing from rail to automobile production. Cities transformed, roads were built, suburbs sprang up, and our expectations about travel, freedom, and independence evolved with them. Consumers, governments, and corporations embraced the changes by embedding cars into the rhythm of daily life and creating entirely new norms around what it meant to move and connect. With each GPT, a new regulatory framework has to evolve. Capital, labor, environmental impact. Each of these flows needs to be managed in a way that aligns with the new technology's impact. And these frameworks don't come from a single authority. They emerge from this dynamic, ongoing negotiation between governments, industries, and everyday people. Each actor plays a role in defining how GPTs are produced, used, and regulated. With cars, accreditation flows are regulated with actors, like traffic rules enforced by law enforcement or environmental standards set by agencies like the EPA. Through SAT, we see how these actors validate and sustain GPTs by establishing trust, accountability, and safety across the network. This validation cycle doesn't just control technology, it shapes the ways we live and interact, from urban planning to consumer expectations. General-purpose technologies are more than innovations. They're transformative forces that create long waves of sustained progress, shaping industries, economies, and social norms. Through SAT and ANT, we see how GPTs spread by gaining validation from diverse actors who adapt, regulate, and embed these technologies into society. As we continue to enter new technological supercycles, the way we validate and regulate GPTs will shape not only our industries but our values, cultures, and ways of life. Thanks for watching Social Theory today. Join us next time as we explore more of the forces shaping our world.